100 for our Monday afternoon. Feels like temperatures are around 105, maybe up to 107. Really dangerous if you're not drinking water, staying hydrated, getting in out of the heat from time to time, and dry as we kick off the work week, too. Better rain chances show up as we get toward the end of the week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Hey, this is Jeff McNeely, owner of G&M Milling Company in beautiful downtown Lowray. We at G&M hope you come by and see us for all your livestock needs. We stock feeds for all kinds of animals and hay too. We also have seed for a wide variety of forages for your animals. So come on by 4000 Taylorsville Highway, Statesville, or call us at 704-873-5758. We're worth the drive. Thank you again for supporting small family-owned businesses. God bless.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
All systems are a go.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats. Taking Care of Iredell with North Carolina State Representative Jeff McNeely is about to begin. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Iredell County. Hope everybody's doing well out there this morning. It's hot. You know, I tell you what, if it makes you feel any better, when I was young, and I'm 60 now, but when I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, it was hot then too. Just letting you know that. All right. Hey, we got a great show today. Glad to have everybody listening. I hope we got Luke Fraley going to talk to us. He's running for the North Carolina Commission for Labor. And so he had a primary, and it was hard fought. And so we got him now on the line. And so we're going to go ahead and bring in Luke and see what's going on. Hey, Luke, are you with me?
I am with you, Representative McNeely. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you doing, sir?
Good, considering the events of the weekend.
Yeah.
Sure.
Wow.
But pretty good.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm going to get into that second part of the show, but we can talk a little bit about that. You're stepping into the fray, and I'm gonna warn you. You just don't know what you're getting into. None of us do when we sign up for politics, for public office. The Lord watched after the man. That's all I can say.
I agree with you, sir, to be sure. I mean, we were talking a matter of inches or less, and this would have been one of the darkest days in American history.
That's right.
So praise God that that we avoided that, But, of course, there were innocent folks who didn't avoid that.
Yes.
We can't forget that a father was killed protecting his family. Other people have been injured. And this kind of violence doesn't have any place in our political system. You mentioned stepping into the arena here. Well, there's a lot of things I'm signing up for when I become a candidate, but getting shot at by disgruntled folks isn't one of them. And just a sad commentary on where things are in this country right now. Well, it is.
And this has been going on for a while. We've had people go to Supreme Court justices' houses, and Nancy Pelosi's house, and Kavanaugh, and invading into the private space, and so I don't understand. Part of this is almost like intimidation to a point in those cases. This here was just blunt and violence that there's no place for anywhere in the world, but definitely not in the political arena, where we try to let everybody be able to have their First Amendment rights and say and speak what they please and do. There's always, ramifications from what you say, but you're allowed to say it. And so whenever these things happen, I feel like that they're coming after, not only the candidate, but our Constitution in general and our way of life in America, what we founded this country on. They're trying to silence people one way or another, and this was the most heinous way that I know of. So this is tough. But I tell you what, let's go ahead. Let's talk about you. Because right now we want to make sure that we get a good person elected to Commissioner of Labor in North Carolina. So, Luke, tell us a little bit about you and your family and your history, and then we'll get into some of the other harder questions, as they say.
Yes, sir. So I'm new to politics. Never been in politics before. Been in private practice of law the last 14 years, working mostly with small businesses in the construction industry and seeing their struggles, the struggles to find skilled and qualified labor to meet their regulatory and compliance burdens. And it was working with those small businesses that are the backbone of our economy that made me interested in running for labor commissioner. I'm proud that I hadn't been in politics before, and that I'm coming out of the private sector, because I think having that private sector mentality, which really in the end is sort of a customer service mentality, is going to what's going to make for a great labor department, making sure that we are treating both the workers we protect and the businesses we regulate like our customers. So I grew up in Onslow County, live in Wake County now, been traveling all over the state the last probably 14 months running for this office. Been married 10 years, got 2 young sons and another baby on the way in about 3 weeks. So it is going to be a busy summer and fall for the Fraley family, but we're excited and we wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, it does sound like you've got your hands full if you got another one that's going to pop in any time now. So you have bitten it off, as they say.
That is right, and I'll tell y'all, if my wife tries to beep in while we are doing this interview, I'm gonna have to take that because that could be the call.
I completely understand. I know where my place is. I get that. So you're fine. You're fine. Well, you just said you've never been in politics, and so what made you decide to jump in, and especially into like a statewide office? Because this is a big state, man. This is a lot of work.
It is a lot of ground to cover, but I am absolutely passionate about making sure we protect our workers without bankrupting small businesses in the process. I have got a heart for looking out for the little guy, both the worker and the small business owner. And when I looked at this race, I said, this is something I've got some professional, real-world, private sector expertise in, and I can add something here that makes North Carolina a better place for all of us. But I'm thinking about my sons here, too. I say I got 2 now, another baby coming. Don't know if it's a boy or a girl. We'll know that soon enough. But I think about the fact that when you look, North Carolina's got competitors in the region. We got other states vying to have, businesses come there and build a strong economy. But we also have to compete in the world. We've got other countries, China, India, Brazil, all these other countries that are looking to grow at our expense too. And so for me, North Carolina has been a place of just endless opportunity to build a career, start a family, own a home. And I want that to keep going for my kids and for their kids. I mean, I've got skin in the game, right? We're here in North Carolina. We're going to stay in North Carolina. And I want this to be a great place to live and work, like I say, for generations to come. And so that's what got me into the race.
Well, like I said, this is a big state. Murphy to Manteo is the big line you always hear. And I think you've been from Murphy to Manteo, because I know talking with you, you've been all over, and every time I'm somewhere, I see you. So you're in it. You're wide open and you're going at it. We never really talk about the competition. Don't mention their name, but I will say this: your competition is nutty as a fruitcake, in my opinion, and I'll leave it at that.
So, I mean, I have got a far left radical opponent. There is no question about that. There are 2 clear competing visions for North Carolina. Mine's a vision based on common sense, limited government, and faith, family, and freedom. Those are the things that made North Carolina and America great in the first place, and those are the things that are my values and worldview. What I want to do as labor commissioners, protect our workers and their jobs at the same time.
Hey, Luke,
keep driving our economy forward.
We got to take a hard break. We'll be right back. Luke Farley.
Yes, sir.
Hold tight.
Stay with with us. We'll have more Taking Care of Iredell with NC Representative Jeff McNeely after these messages on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, it's a story that sounds like it's
Auto Parts Store. When you need auto parts, think Johnson's Parts and Supply. Your Auto Plus Auto Parts Store, 1112 Shelton Avenue, Statesville.
It's Taking Care of Iredell with NC Representative Jeff McNeely on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
All right, back here with the middle of the show here. Got Luke Fraley. He's running for the North Carolina Commission, Labor Commissioner, and I've been talking to him, so we're going to get back into it. Hey, finishing up there a little bit about the difference, between you and the opponent that's out there somewhere or another, your Democratic opponent who's way off the charts to the left. I know you've got some good endorsements. Some of your endorsements who are they, Luke? Who all's come out for you?
Well, yes. Well, the one your listeners are going to know right off the bat is the elevator queen herself, the former labor commissioner, Sherry Berry. Now, you actually pronounce it Cherie, but most of your listeners probably just know her as Sherry Berry.
Yep.
She did this job 20 years, best-known labor commissioner, longest-serving, knows a job better than anybody else alive, literally. And she has endorsed me to take her old job, and I am so proud to count Sherry Berry as a friend and supporter and mentor. I've also got, thankfully, the endorsement of the current labor commissioner, Josh Dobson.
Good man.
Who has done a great job keeping this a common-sense department. And so you add them up, that's 24 years of labor commissioners, the last 24 years we've had. You really couldn't ask for better endorsements for looking to run this office, run this department.
Well, and I maybe a lot of people don't sit down and think about labor commissioner, and they don't really realize the importance of the North Carolina Department of Labor and what they do. But not only are they there for workplace safety, they're there for a lot of other different things. I mean, there's a whole list of things that they do, but in that process, you want somebody that's even-handed and fair, because there's going to be issues come up between employer and employee constantly, and you need somebody there to kind of be that one that has a level head, and not too far right, not too far left, but goes by what the word of law says. Well, I mean, it's almost like being a quasi-judicial court to a point, because y'all do a lot of rulings and stuff in a lot of different cases. Now, if somebody don't like it, they can appeal, and take it into the court system, but y'all do a lot of that yourself. And so, somebody that's radical. I mean, we're talking about the people that endorsed your competition, talk about democracy as the solution. We believe that political power and economic ownership can and must be redistributed and democratized. I don't even really know what that means, democratizing this thing. We build people power to take back government and fight for an economy where all North Carolina people and places thrive together. I guess once you go into Marxism and socialism, where everybody, their property's taken from them, we're going to be in communal living. So I guess that's what they want. And your opponent's proud of that. He's proud to be part of this communist movement. So I'm afraid I'd hate to think of what rulings would come from his department, and I feel good about what rulings would come from your department if you were in charge.
Well, nobody's got to be worried about me coming at this office with a partisan agenda or a political agenda. You're exactly right that the state's labor and employment laws and the rulings that come out of this department need to be fair, even, and balanced, unbiased towards any side. I recognize right away that, it's the businesses that create the jobs, especially the small businesses, but it's the workers that keep them running. And so if we want to drive prosperity in this state and we want a thriving economy, you need a balanced approach that understands that. And you don't need to get, the equation out of whack, be too much on one side or the other. You need to understand that it's a partnership between employers and employees, and that's what makes North Carolina a prosperous place with a strong economy. And as labor commissioner, I'm going to come at it in that way. Not with a partisan political agenda, not looking to distribute wealth, just recognizing that we have a great free market system. That's what's helped build the greatest economy the world's ever known in this country. And we just need to preserve that and keep it going and treat the regulations as guardrails that keep bad actors, bad businesses in bounds. But everybody else, we want to help them succeed and make sure that they've got the tools they need to be successful. Because when our small businesses are successful, North Carolina is successful.
Well, that's so true. And we've had the number one business environment for the last couple of years. Well, I think we actually come in second this year, and I'm going to blame a lot of that. And I got it later in my show on our governor and some of the things that he's done and the policies that he's tried to push is what's backed us out of number one to number two. Because we've done our part as the General Assembly to put us in a good business environment. And a lot of that's working with Josh Dobson and the Labor Department to make sure that, we're protecting employees, but we're also making a path for employers to be profitable. And just like you said, this is what's important. And I see a socialistic philosophy coming at this so different. That's going to be, the workers this, the workers that. And hey, they got rights and they need rights. But what you'll end up doing is crushing small business. And that's always been the agenda, I feel like, of the far left liberal, is to crush small business and allow unions and large businesses to flourish. We don't want to see anybody get the American dream. We want you to go ahead and become one of the workers and fall into the factory and do this and do that instead of actually creating something on your own. Small businesses made America great. That's the whole backbone of America. People getting out, doing their thing, working hard at their own living. It's been an awesome way. My family, we've been self-employed for quite a few years now. And I couldn't, I don't know if I could work for somebody else or not, tell you the truth. Although I do at the General Assembly, I always say I have a boss man and my speaker that kind of leads us. And so I fall in line to do the things that I know will be the right things. But I also have the ability to step out too. And so, and do what I think's right, no matter what I'm told. That's the beauty of America. That's what kind of labor department I see coming from Luke Farley. So really, really proud of you taking this on. You know, this, give us a couple minutes speech of why we should vote for Luke Farley for Labor Commissioner of North Carolina.
Well, the number one thing is that I am the jobs champion in this race. I want North Carolina to be a place where we have good, high-quality, paying jobs. You know, we need workers to be protected. We want them to go home at the end of the workday. We want everybody to go home at the end of the workday the same way they left. But then the next day, we want them to go to a fantastic job. And there's a close relationship between regulation and whether we have a strong economy. You know, when a business is looking to expand its operations in North Carolina or even move to North Carolina, it's looking at a couple of things. What are the taxes? How educated is our workforce? Does North Carolina have the people we need? And on the taxes, the General Assembly is doing a fantastic job reducing the tax burden to spur economic growth. When it comes to our workforce, North Carolina has a highly educated workforce. Again, that's thanks to investments from the North Carolina General Assembly and your colleagues, Representative McNeely. But the last piece of it, and this is where the Labor Commissioner can play a big part, is the regulatory environment. Businesses want to know, is this a place where the labor and employment laws and other regulations are going to be enforced in a fair and even-handed way or with a partisan political agenda? And I can tell y'all, anybody listening, especially if you're a business looking to expand or relocate to North Carolina, when I'm Labor Commissioner, we're going to enforce our laws in a fair and even-handed way, and that is going to drive job growth. It's going to be a part of driving that job growth. And that number 2 spot that we have for business, I'm going to wake up every day thinking to myself, how do I play my part to get us back to number 1?
Amen.
And the reason's this. If we're the number 1 state for business, it also makes us the number 1 state for jobs. And that's what I'm going to wake up every day thinking about as Labor Commissioner.
Well, I tell you what, that's solid. That's solid right there, because I think that's what people want to hear. And I think you're putting forth a good message. I feel like I said, we kind of understand the message coming from the other side. Let's get one more step closer to socialism, one more step closer to communism, because socialism doesn't end up working. So then they have to force you to be a socialist, and that's where the communism comes in. That's where the military shows up and tells you. So I think you're going to be one that's going to be proactive, but you're also going to be pro-business, but also pro-employee. So that's all I think you can ask for from a labor commissioner. And you know, Josh ran for this. Once I got into the House, he ran for it, and we all worked real hard to get Josh in. Kind of surprised, just did it 4 years, and he's ready to step out of politics. Don't let that scare you. Stay in there, Luke. Stay in there. But we're going to work real hard for you too, because we need to know that we've got somebody over in the labor department that can help us. I mean, we've seen so many things just out of COVID with all the different employment issues that we had and layoffs that were forced and this, that, and the other. We need somebody strong there. We need somebody that knows what they're doing. So we appreciate you putting your hat in the ring. It's not going to be easy. You got a young family. I know you're going to take a lot of time from them, but I pray you win, and I know you'll do the job, and I appreciate your service that you're going to give to this state.
Well, likewise, sir, thank you for everything you and your colleagues are doing down at the General Assembly. Like I say, I mean, I'm looking at this from a business lens, and it's a 3-legged stool. It's taxes, education, and regulation, and y'all are covering 2 out of those 3 in a great way.
All right. We got about 30 seconds. How do we get up with Luke? How do we find you on social media?
Yes, sir. Website is lukeforlabor.com. That's Luke, the number 4, labor.com, and I'm all over social media at Luke Farley NC is my handle, Luke Farley NC.
All right, Luke 4, and that's the number 4, luke4labor.com. Folks, check him out. Luke, I appreciate you coming on, sir.
Sir.
You have a great week.
talking to you.
Take care. See ya.
See
All
you.
right, folks.
Thanks, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, folks, hold on for the second half. It's coming.
More Taking Care of Iredell with North Carolina Representative Jeff McNeely is coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, it's a story that sounds like it's starting to get old, but it really is the same old, same old. Big time heat and humidity as we kick off a brand new work week. High temperatures in the upper 90s to near 100 for our Monday afternoon. Feels like temperatures up around 105, maybe up to 107. Really dangerous if you're not drinking water, staying hydrated, getting in out of the heats from time to time, and dry as we kick off the work week, too. Better rain chances show up as we get toward the end of the week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Hey, this is Jeff McNeely, owner of G&M Milling Company in beautiful downtown Lowray. We at G&M hope you come. We stock feeds for all kinds of animals and hay too. We also have seed for a wide variety of forages for your animals. So come on by 4000 Taylorsville Highway, Statesville, or call us at 704-873-5758. We're worth the drive. Thank you again for supporting small family-owned businesses. God bless.
Looking for a large private room for your next work function? Or maybe you need a place to bring the whole family for a delicious meal? Pomodoros of Mooresville has the perfect space for your crowd. Book your next event at pomodoros.com.
Here's a WSIC Business Minute with local entrepreneur and host of Local Biz Now, Joe Vagnone.
I've been buying and selling, owning and operating franchises since 1990. There are few franchising trends to be on the lookout. More white-collar employees turned to franchising in the last 2 years, and they're finally willing to open their savings account to do it. E-commerce continues to thrive. Franchising that takes fewer employees to operate with advanced technology to reduce the number of employees. A surprising trend many of us never thought would happen. Private equity firms are now willing to accept franchises when purchasing companies. This is a material shift in a large buyer profile with plenty of cash.
This has been a WSIC Business Minute with Joe Vagnone. Listen for tips on how to improve your business daily on WSIC News Talk Now.
For 42 years, Johnson's Parts and Supply has been your Auto Plus Auto Parts store. When you need auto parts, think Johnson's Parts and Supply. Your Auto Plus Auto Parts store, 1112 Shelton Avenue, Statesville.
Hi. This is Bob McIntosh with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Since 1997, we have been committed to providing our clients with competent, caring, and experienced legal services. Learn more at McIntoshLawFirm.com.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. British fashion brand Burberry had set its sights on challenging the likes of high-end luxury players such as Chanel and Louis Vuitton. But a downturn in luxury spending across the world has hit that plan. Burberry has abruptly replaced its CEO with the former boss of Michael Kors, Coach and Jimmy Choo, a specialist in courting broader swaths of the shopping public. It's also planning cost cuts that could mean the end of hundreds of jobs. Burberry stock down 16%. Leading luxury watch conglomerate Swatch Group says global sales fell the first half of this year due to dramatic declines across Asia, especially China. Shares of Swatch fell 10% in Europe. Moderate gains for Wall Street indexes to begin the new week, with the Dow and S&P 500 once again in record territory, and the NASDAQ not far. Dow gaining 0.5%, S&P up 0.2%, NASDAQ gaining roughly 1%. Oil futures pulling back a bit, losing 0.5% to $81.50 a barrel. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
Call now to speak with NC Representative Jeff McNeely at 844-STUDIO-4. It's Taking Care of Iredell on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, back here for the second half of the show. If anybody'd like to call in, 844-788-3464. Well, all I can say is wow. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. President Trump was an attempted assassination attempt on his life. Wounded, hit in the ear. Now, y'all, I just don't know how much closer it gets than that. So the Lord had a hand and watched over him, that's for sure. Turned his head just at the right time. That's all I can say. Sadly, Pennsylvania fire chief was killed, Corey, and I'm going to probably get his name wrong, Compantori. And he had 2 daughters, a wife, family. So sad. Volunteered to his community. Do we got a list? Do we got a call? Yeah, we'll take Brian. I got Brian Summers online. Brian, are you there?
Hey, good morning. How you doing, Representative?
I'm doing well. Well, you're in Milwaukee, aren't you?
Yes, sir. I just had a fired-up breakfast with our RNC chairman, our state chairman, and I tell you, a delegation of 71 from the state of North Carolina.
Strong.
And we are. It's a different feeling. I got to tell you, it really is. It's a very different feeling. I wasn't there in '84 for Reagan, but I tell you, it's a different feeling, my friend. God knows it is.
Well, let me ask you this, Brian. Do you think it's different from just what happened Saturday? That changed the complexion a lot.
Absolutely. And I think that by the president saying that, really calling for really cool it down, but also a more focus on policy, really, I think really brought the whole circle together for us most policy-driven conservatives. And that's his approach. He's had some speech writers come in and kind of help draft some of the language for Thursday. So it's very encouraging. Had some more policy-driven agenda as far as the convention, and that is just so breathtaking for a lot of us. And it's a very different feel, very different. But I'm very excited. I mean, this is my 6th convention and first one as a delegate. All the rest of them, we're doing them as campaigns. But so it's a very different feeling, and great to be from the state of North Carolina.
Well, we're glad you're there representing us and representing the 10th district, which includes Iredell, Lincoln, part of Forsyth. Let's see, I guess Davie,
Catawba.
Yeah. Yep. So and Iredell, of course, the largest one in there. So glad to have you there doing that for us. What are you hearing? This attempted assassination. Nothing's really adding up. This is weird.
I think really the shock of what happened Saturday, and I know a bunch of us got up and found a church in Milwaukee yesterday and went to church, and but it just went forward with a different feel. And I just think that it is what the devil meant for bad. God has given opportunity for good. I'll be honest with you, and that's it. But we love this country, and this is what we have going on. So.
Well, I heard Trump say, and I hope he takes the latter. He said it was either just luck or the Lord watched over him. And to me, the Lord definitely watched over him. There was no luck in that. That was divine.
Absolutely.
That was divine guidance. And so I just I pray for the family of the fire chief that got killed, and the other 2 that have been critically wounded. That we don't hear about those names and those people, unfortunately. And they just came to a rally because they wanted to celebrate freedom, and ended up costing them one of them their life and maybe more. Who knows? And so that's a tragedy beyond told. I don't know what to tell you. But how does a 20-year-old kid, Thomas Matthew Crooks, how does a 20-year-old kid get that upset? That he's willing to just throw his life away. I don't know what he thought would happen after the shooting. Did he even, dream of that? That he, there was no way he was making it out. So, but a lot of things don't add up. They say there's a Ford van.
There are a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And we have the bureaucracy of Homeland Security, which has oversight of the Secret Service, and so somebody's going to be up answering for something for sure. This should have never even been, you don't ever cut that budget. Protection is essential, and protectees and their families. And so there's never been a committee that surely has to have a calling before it's those who are responsible and have oversight over Homeland Security, which Secret Service falls under.
Well, I mean, you got John Kennedy Jr. who's running. Now he's running, I forgot what party it is. It's one of the We the People or something.
You mean Robert Kennedy?
Robert Kennedy, excuse me, that's right, Robert Kennedy Jr. His father was assassinated, and he can't even get a security detail. He's having to pay for his own security. So some of these things doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And they say that the Trump team has been asking for more resources and can't get from Homeland Security. So none of this, there's a whole lot of things that don't add up to me. I don't know.
Right.
You know.
Yep. But we're going to trust the process, verify, and we're going to really show our faith in this country. And I tell you, but what the devil meant for bad, God got for good, and so it has a whole new energy and a new spirit here at this convention. And it has just been, I felt comfortable, felt safe, and so it's good. It's good.
Well,
like I said, the North Carolina delegation, North Carolina, is strong. Jason Simmons, and then of course having Chairman Watley, the chair of the entire RNC, doesn't help at all. I mean, it doesn't hurt at all. So I got something to send to you. I got one of your campaign cards, not to get political, that was still in my wallet.
There you go. Just keep carrying that.
I'm gonna take a picture. Out of North Carolina sign, which is your campaign card. So I was gonna say that for you, but I figured since I got you live on radio, I'll let you know.
Yeah, don't get rid of that card. That's good luck, brother. That's good luck. You hold on that thing. Might be
absolutely, man.
Get out of jail free card or something. Who knows?
Well, it didn't work. So.
Well, I don't want to tell you.
Yeah, got you. But God bless you, McNeely, and we thank you. We thank North Carolina for 15 years of having a Republican legislator there and a majority. And we just thank everything that you're doing there in representing us and keeping us, conservatively safe and doing the right thing and going on the right track. So don't stop. Don't change. And you keep on. I'm giving you a little test for your wardrobe. I got to tell you, I got a seersucker on today.
Oh, all right. Well, I have to get that in the picture too then when you take the picture card. Get it all. Get it all. All right. Well,
Absolutely.
You have a blast up there, and cheer hard and loud, and safe travels. And I know you're going to have a good time. And like I said, it's a big convention. I'm sure the temperature's a little different as far as inside, not talking about the outside, but of what could be and how it is. But we got to come together as a country, and we cannot condone violence in any shape or form, but especially in the political arena to try to snuff out a voice. That's not how this works.
Exactly right.
That's
exactly right, and you're 100% right. So go Iredale, go Red, go strong.
That's right. All right, you be good, sir. I appreciate you calling in, Brian. Thank you.
Absolutely. God bless you. Thanks for the opportunity.
God bless you too, sir.
All right.
See ya.
All right.
Bye. All right, folks. As Brian Summers, he's our delegate from the 10th district, going to Milwaukee for the Republican convention. Should be an interesting time this week with the assassination attempt and all that, but. I just don't understand. 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks seems a little weird. Nobody really understands what's going on here. Not a lot of red flags. Seems to be a new Ford van involved, from what we hear, or fairly new. Where did that come from? I'm hearing, he drove that to the shooting. FBI struggling to crack a cell phone. Really? I don't know if that's possible. I thought the FBI. I've seen them do all kind of things. Just a lot of things going on, but once again, we cannot tolerate, as I talked about this with Luke and just real quickly with Brian, we cannot tolerate in this country any type of intimidation or violence to anybody, but especially in the political arena, to try to snuff out a voice, to try to quieten a voice, to try to do whatever. That's what's made America great. A lot of people talk, and I don't agree with them. But I'm not out to do them harm. I'm just going to tell you what I believe and what I think, and I'm going to vote how I believe and how I think, and I'm not going to let their craziness come in and interfere with mine normalcy. And that's where we're at with America, and that's what makes this country great. So one of the problems I do have, though, is I do feel like the Biden campaign and Joe Biden, when coherent, has stepped up this rhetoric, talking about that Trump's a danger to democracy, and even last week says we're going to put a bullseye on him. Now, I don't think he meant it necessarily in the way that it turned out, but you don't say those things. You don't talk that way. You don't do that. So we've got to change the way that we're doing this political talk right now about bullseyes and dangers. I don't feel like that Donald Trump's no more danger to democracy than Joe Biden is to the republic. So this has got to change. All right, folks, stay tuned for the last part of the show. If you want to give a call in, 844-788-3464. Hold tight. Coming back.
Keep it right here. Taking Care of Iredell with NC Representative Jeff McNeely will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, it's a story that sounds like it's starting to get old, but it really is the same old, same old. Big time heat and humidity as we kick off a brand new work week. High temperatures in the upper 90s to near 100 for our Monday afternoon. Feels like temperatures up around 105, maybe up to 107. Really dangerous if you're not drinking water, staying hydrated, getting in out of the heat from time to time, and dry as we kick off the work week, too. Better rain chances show up as we get toward the end of the week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. On Thursday, Brookdale Village in Huntersville welcomes Dave Scott Crow's Amusination Academy, an afternoon of imagination, music, and amusement will be on the green at Brookdale Village. Dave's Amusination concert and Pick Me Up Mike are crowd favorites. Come relax and enjoy, or take the stage. It's perfect for the whole family. The fun begins at 4:30 Thursday afternoon, July 18th on the green at Brookdale Village in Huntersville. Langtree Live continues their live music series on Thursday. Alex Key takes the stage at 7 p.m. for this free concert. Event time is 6:30. Bring your chairs early and enjoy the food and beverages that Langtree restaurants have to offer. We'll see you on Thursday evening for Langtree Live's free concert series. Come see the coolest cars, trucks, and motorcycles at Hot Rods and Hops this Friday night at RevFast in Mooresville. This monthly show welcomes all auto enthusiasts with vehicles on display, food trucks, beer from Hoptown Brewing, and the Hot Rod community. Come see old friends and make some new ones on Friday night after 5 at the Late Apex Storage Condos in Mooresville for Hot Rods and Hops. The kids' edition of Battle of the Bands takes place Sunday at Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville. 6 bands, 2 stages, song versus song, set versus set with 1 champion. Come see the future of the local music scene powered by Waves Entertainment. 4 p.m. Sunday at Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville with the kids' edition of Battle of the Bands. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway gives you your midweek Need for Speed. This 10-race series, night number 9, is on Tuesday, July 23rd on the front stretch quarter-mile oval. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Now, more Taking Care of Iredell with North Carolina Representative Jeff McNeely on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
All right, back here with the last part of the show. I think we got somebody on the line, Joe, so we'll go ahead and bring in a caller. Who we got here? Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got?
If it's me and my turn, I've got a quick thing to say.
All right.
Let's just go right.
Who is this? I didn't get your name.
I'm sorry.
Who's this?
I'm sorry, Jeff. This is Hope.
Hey,
this
Hope.
Is Hope. I call a lot.
Yep,
super fan over here, but I'm a super fan for Homeland Security. We've been talking about macro Homeland. Let's talk about the micro Homeland Security. Mr. Luke that you just spoke to, can he make it illegal for a person's workplace to take a group text photo of the schedule and spin it out on that group text, because then everyone who's on their phone can see when someone's working, and that makes me nervous. I think it should not be okay to take a picture of a whole workplace's text, schedule for each week, and then because you don't know who else can see the picture that gets sent to your coworkers. Are you following me?
I am. I think that would be an employer-employee decision in their workplace. If the employees want to bring up that they're uncomfortable with that, they can stop. We have a group text at my work, and I try to keep this work on it. Unfortunately, we get into all kind of goofiness mostly, but so it's just whatever the employer or the employee is willing to allow, and I think so.
I forced it off. I said no, I will not be on group text, because what's happening is,
and that's your prerogative. Yes,
to be true, but the less you let yourself be hacked, the less hours you get on the job.
Yeah.
They're using it, and it's unethical. And I'll leave you alone because you might have another caller, and I for the hard work that you do. And let's do a shout out for that fire chief because, yes, sir, Mr. Trump and any past, government official, but, the fire department does a whole heck of a lot every day.
Oh, yeah. Corey Compantori, I think. I hope I'm saying that right. He's a hero. He's a hero. That's all I can say.
Know.
A true patriot.
Yeah.
True patriot.
There you go. Or just a family protector. We got to get our family back in this country.
Yeah, and that's what he was. He was laying over top of his wife and his $2 and took the bullet. So what more can you do? What more love can you show for your family and friends is to risk
love
your life?
Priority one.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you, Hope. Oh, okay. We got another caller. Let's go ahead and see who we got on there. We got William. Hey, William. What's up, brother?
Hey, Jeff. Hey, real quick, awesome prayers go out to each and every one of those persons that were involved in the rally the other day. Donald Trump down. And I tell you, go back to 2020 when we had all that violence and everything that was going on and everybody was talking about defunding the police and the authorities. Just think about that for a minute. If we would have done that, if they had succeeded in doing that, and we had no law enforcement there at that rally the other day, what would have took place?
Oh,
that's how crucial it is and how important it is. My hat is off to each and every one of those Secret Service men and women, and all the rest of the local law enforcement, state employees, all the people that were there at that event that was handling that situation. They handled it as quickly as they could. It's unfortunate what happened, but this is where we're at in America, and it's not change until we start getting back to the home front and teaching these kids the right from wrong. And we need to go back to funding the police, not defunding them, but funding them.
Amen.
And the more we fund them, the more they're able to do and come up with equipment and tools and measures that they need to handle situations like took place in Butler, Pennsylvania over the weekend. That's just my take on it.
I get you.
I know that makes a lot of people mad when I talk about that, defunding the police and funding the police, because there's a lot of animosity against law enforcement. But they're not out there just writing speeding tickets. They're out there trying to protect lives. And it may not be at the particular time when they've got you pulled over in a traffic stop. You may not think they're your friend, but they're actually really trying to help you out. But people just don't look at it that way.
Well,
so we need to get back to funding the law enforcement, and that goes for every law enforcement agency.
And also on the judicial side to make sure that we punish. I truly believe if you make the punishment harsh enough, you will deter the problem. You will stop it. And that's our problem. Yeah. We have continued to ease, and the big line is, well, we ain't got no room in our jails for them. We ain't got no this. We want to give everybody this. We want to help, and we want, folks, you got to draw a hard line. You can ease up, but it's hard to bear down. And my dad and my granddad taught me that many times. So
if we're going to throw the love out there, we're going to have to put the tough love out there.
That's right.
It's being dished back to us.
Yeah. I mean,
we got to fight fire with fire.
I agree. And I think it starts at a very early age. Starts at a very early age.
Yes, sir. I tried to teach my kids, and now I'm teaching my grandkids. And it's just that's where it starts.
Yep. All right, brother. I appreciate you.
God bless America, and God bless the country, and I'm glad Donald Trump's safe.
Me too. Thank you, Lord.
Take care.
All right, you take care, brother. All right, real quick, going to touch on a few things. I don't know if we got another. Nobody's called in, have we? Clear. All right. Well, I said this a little bit earlier. Well, Roy Cooper now has vetoed 102 laws that we have passed as a General Assembly in less than 8 years. Basically, the total of all other governors combined is 35. So that just gives you an idea of what Roy's doing. Now, I said this a little bit earlier with Luke, and I mean it, and I totally believe it. Roy Cooper has personally caused North Carolina to fall out of the top spot to do business after 2 years in a row getting it, because we have done a lot of things in the General Assembly to make us a business-friendly business state that people want to come, lower taxes, less regulations, all these things. And Roy Cooper has tried to figure out every way he could to thwart what we've tried to do. And most of it made no sense in the vetoes because he always has to write an explanation, and they're not even close to what the bill meant a lot of times, folks. Makes no sense at all. So just thought I'd get that in there to show you how crazy things are. One other thing, too, a study has just come out. AARP has just put out this study, calculated that Americans over 60, which worries me because I just turned out, loses $28 billion annually a year to fraud. People, beware of the phone calls. If you have a mother, father, they're elderly, they live by themselves, wonderful, great. I want to. I hope someday to be able to do that. Buy them a caller ID if they don't have it. And if you're in this category and you're listening out there, people, if you do not recognize the number, if it is from somewhere other than a 704-980 or even one of the other area codes in North Carolina, don't answer it. Let it go to voicemail. You can always call them back. I know maybe you're there and you're watching TV and you're lonely. Do not answer that phone unless you know that number. Don't do it. There's a good chance there's somebody that's figured out who you are, and they're coming after you to get whatever money they can. And I've watched a lot of good people, older people, smart people, get bamboozled. They're really good at what they do in these games they play, as far as telling you about grandsons and granddaughters in wrecks and in jail for this, that, and the other, and they need you and don't want to call the mom and just all kind of stuff. Don't fall for it. Don't do it. You'll be all right. Trust me. Don't let your emotions take over. They will take your money. I've watched this happen. Be careful. One thing I did want to hit on before we get done today, and this is one of the reasons that we have an issue with cost in America. General Motors is agreed to pay a $146 million fine to the federal emissions, on federal emissions to EPA. And basically what happened, EPA changed their testing model here about 3 or 4 years ago, and they've actually gone back to older models. I'm talking like 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, and check mileage on these vehicles. Now think about how old these vehicles are. We're talking 10 years old, and they're 10% worse on average than what they had put on their sticker that time ago. And so now they're going to charge them $146 million. And according to the General Motors executives, they're saying this is more likely going to cost us $500 million. Now, $500 million General Motors has to pay. How do you think they're going to make that back? It's pretty simple. They're going to make it back every dime on the consumer through higher prices. There's nothing to do to fix these vehicles. There's nothing wrong with these vehicles. They're just not getting the mileage that General Motors said they would. And a lot of this has to do with the new way that the EPA is testing them. 10% to me doesn't fall out of the range. Now, where the fine comes from is because they're getting 10% less fuel mileage, they're burning more fuel. So therefore they're creating more emissions. And that's where they're fining them. This is crazy. Test the vehicles now? Fine. Going back retro and testing vehicles that long ago, there ought to be some kind of clause, some kind of statement, some kind of something, where the time has passed. I'm trying to think of my phrase here. Whenever statute of limitations, I think is the word we're looking for. But understand this, the Biden administration has continually moved up the miles per gallon. They have continually moved that up on the fleet. That's what makes you have to build the electric cars. Right now, we're at 49 miles per gallon by 2030. So they're going to have to keep doing this so that fleet averages, and that counts your trucks. The ones that got out of line with General Motors, trucks, pickups, SUVs, Suburbans, stuff like that. All right, folks, we're about running out of time today. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to start on my prayer because I need to say it early. We got a lot to pray about. Dear Heavenly Father, dear Lord, I pray for my country. We have allowed the heat to go too high, and we have to back it down. And Lord, please help us be understanding to each other and realize each of us has a voice. I pray you bless this country. Thank you, Lord, for protecting Donald Trump. Lord, I pray for the family of Corey Compatore. I pray for all those wounded. Take care of us, Lord. Help us get through this. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Folks, until next week, take care.
You've been listening to North Carolina Representative Jeff McNeely. Join Jeff again next Monday morning at 11:05 for Taking Care of Iredell on News Talk